Cinta Costera means coastal belt or beltway. It's one of Panama City's main landmarks and one of many people's favourite parts of the city, including mine. It's a promenade that follows the coastline at its far end in the El Chorrillo neighbourhood, where stands an eye-catching stadium called the Maracana, which was opened in 2014. Next door to it stands Sabores de El Chorrillo, which means flavours of El Chorrillo, a no-frills food spot right by the sea, where you can sit enjoying local dishes, enjoying the view, and enjoying the generous portions and reasonable prices. The chefs are ladies from the neighbourhood, and you'll feel that you're having a slightly more off-the-track experience than many other places in the city. Here it's pretty safe. However, don't go walking into the neighbourhood of El Chorrillo unless you're with a guide. Also here at this end of the Cinta Costera is a skateboard park. The main landmark visible from anywhere on the Cinta is Cerro Ancon Hill, topped with the flag of Panama. It will always allow you to get your bearings. Here we look down from Cerro Ancon onto the Cinta, where the Cinta goes out to the sea, and from there you get a splendid view inland of the World Heritage Site Casco Viejo to be had from the section elevated above the sea. In front of it, you can admire the architecture, the geography, not only from the Cinta, but from several viewing platforms set out from it. One thing I particularly like about this section are all the flowers that come into bloom. You're on a level below the highway. The highway is built some 8 metres above the sea, and it goes 200 metres offshore. Another thing that's really cool about this section are the lounge chairs. You can just lay back and chill. If it's at night, you can look at the stars, you can look at the sky, or you can just lay back if you've done some intense exercise and take a rest. Much more comfortable than those benches which are scattered around the first stage of the Cinta. Around about the middle of the Cinta is the fish market called Mercado de Mariscos, right in front of the docks. Many people come directly here, or they include it in part of their visit to the Cinta to try Panamanian ceviche or other typical seafood dishes in the restaurants there. Prices vary widely. There's something for every budget. Some people even select their own particular fish from the fish market and then take it to one of the restaurants for it to be cooked for them. And of course you can buy seafood just to take home and cook yourself. The Cinta is free, convenient, and it's one of the best places to be on New Year's Eve for a great view of the firework displays. The main ones are in Casco Viejo and coming from the Amador. Some people even bring their own food and seats and sit there to watch the displays. To the far left, in front of the artificial residential island and marina you see jutting out into the sea, is Punta Paitilla, a relatively quiet neighbourhood full of high-rise apartments which juts out from the mainland and home to the tallest building in Panama at 284 metres, the Marriott, formerly the Trump. Punta Paitilla dominates the Panama City waterfront. It can be seen as you walk the first two sections of the Cinta Costera. On the fringes of Punta Paitilla, close to downtown, is Plaza de la Democracia, a minute's walk from the Multicentro shopping mall. So let me show you some of the things that the Cinta Costera has to offer, and you might be surprised at the range of activities and sites there are. The Cinta is truly a space for all Panamanians and all visitors. The Cinta is for absolutely everybody. You can see families there, groups of people of all ages, groups of young people out just having fun, to the elderly, and almost any interest you can think of, from intense exercise, playing sports, have a jog, go cycling, rollerblading, or even rent a pedal buggy or a bicycle. And there is a separate lane for walking or if you're cycling or on anything with wheels. Just be careful not to stray into the other lane. This section here is the El Chorrillo end of the Cinta, the most recently added section. It cost about $782 million and it's called Phase 3. Many people just like to go for a stroll and conversation, going for a romantic walk and enjoy the view of the sea. People watching, nature watching. Aquatic birds you can see here include brown pelicans. If you're lucky, you can see their spectacular plunging dives to catch fish. They nest in large colonies in nature reserves on the Pearl Islands, which are located in front of the Cinta, but too far off to see. There are only 8 species of pelicans in the world. Of them, only 2 are marine. There's a lot of interesting modern and old architecture to admire too. The skyline's always changing along the 3.5 kilometre Avenida Balboa section seen here, with new and interesting residential projects competing for the attention of buyers. Some people come to sightsee the numerous sculptures and statues. This is my favourite. It celebrates the endemic and endangered golden frog of the Anton Valley area of Panama. The 6-metre tall work is by the late Armando Granja, a Colombian sculptor who was based in Panama. Here we can see Vasco Nuez de Balboa represented. He's the national hero of Panama, with no less than 3 national beers and the currency named after him, not forgetting the main port at the Pacific end of the Panama Canal. A lot of people like to snap a photo next to the Panama letters. There's another set at the end of the Amador too. I suggest, as well as taking a shot from the usual front-on angle where there's nothing much in the background, try this angle with the iconic Punta Paitilla skyline behind you. As you walk along, there's many parks. There's also access to Parque Huracán, which is big enough to feature in its own video, which I've linked in the description below. There's basketball courts, children's playgrounds. In fact, kids are really spoilt for choice with so many different playgrounds here. Drinking fountains, free water if you want, park-type exercise machines, having a snack or a full meal, something on a budget or something quite extravagant like lobster. And of course there are sellers of snacks, and you might want to especially look out for people who sell raspado, which is made by scraping the ice off a large ice block bigger than a brick, and they add a flavour to this, a fruit flavour usually, and then you can top it with condensed milk to take it to another level. Another thing that's great about the Cinta is you never know what you might see. It could be someone free running like Aaron Blazer here. It could be someone selling handcrafted art. It could be a modern dance class happening. A group of people from one of Panama's indigenous tribes could be dancing to their traditional music, as you can see here. And you might see some exotic birds or animals. It's possible, but very unlikely, that you could see a crocodile at the mouth of the river. But it's almost certain you'll see the raccoons, which you normally find just before you get to the Panama letters. A lot of people come down here and they see the raccoons and they feed them. I do not recommend doing that. It's interfering with their natural behaviour, making them rely on humans and taking them out of the local ecosystem of which they should be a part, and they forget their natural behaviour. You can also see them down here if you're taking a stroll at night time. The rare animals that you just might see if you're very lucky include Tyra, which I've only seen very, very late night near the marina entrance. A Tyra is a very sleek and slender mammal, not unlike an otter in some ways that it moves. Thanks for watching, and please click subscribe because there's a lot more I can share with you about discovering Panama.